Welcome, everyone. I am Toni Brown, and I am going to talk to you tonight to about crafting delectable learning experiences. I unfortunately have not had the opportunity to attend any events this afternoon, and so I do have a question for you guys. What session have you enjoyed the most today? Because I'm jealous. I'm not gonna tell any stories. I had an all-day meeting today and I just could not hop on. Oh, welcome from Dallas. Oh, that's a hard question. Yeah, I was on Facebook and I saw that there were a lot of good presentations going on today. So I'm hoping that I can watch the replays because I didn't get the opportunity to watch them. Yeah, I heard. I'm so jealous. Oh, okay. So there are some people on the West Coast. I'm kind of like on the East Coast, Southeast. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, Decatur, Georgia. Okay, Louisiana. I graduated from Southern University in Baton Rouge. That's like my second home. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the training, and I'm so glad that you're all here. It is courses and cocktails. So my question is, did you grab your cocktail? Like I have mine, so it might get a little loosey-goosey. It's after 5. It is chill time, and we're going to, this is really like a fireside chat. Water's fine. Water, coffee, whatever keeps you going. A mocktail, if you choose. That works as well. But I decided to do a nice little cocktail that is like a sidecar, if you all are familiar with a sidecar. Okay, it looked like I was frozen there for a minute, so I wanted to check to make sure. Okay, so tonight, after hours, we're going to discuss crafting delectable learning experiences for busy, active adults. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is that it's really, really hard to, you know, educate educate adults because we're so busy. There are so many things that we have to check off the list. But how to get someone's attention and keep it and maintain it during that time, regardless if it's an online training or if it's an e-learning training or webinar. There are ways that you can keep the adults in your sessions active and keep them attentive to the content. So that's what we'll talk about today. And it's really a two-way conversation. So I will be posing questions and you can post them in the chat. If you want to come up on stage and talk about it, if you want to get on stage and talk about it, just let me know and then we'll bring you on stage. So let me introduce myself first. Again, I'm your courseologist or Chief Learning Officer. I've been in learning and development for about 23 years. I absolutely love what I do. I have 2 masters, one in instructional design that focuses on organization development and process improvement. And then I have another master's of education in instructional technology. I am a mom. I'm a mom of a 17-year-old daughter. And then I'm also a mom of 2 pups. One that's 17 years old. I call him old man because he acts like an old man. And then I have a 7-year-old pup, aka act a fool, because he will act a fool, even though he's a little bitty thing. He's a Yorkie Terrier, but he will get those ankles if you acting up, right? So he checks everybody that comes through the door. So that's me, and I do own. I've been a CLO or have an agency for about 9 years. I just got announced. I was just welcomed as a new member of the Forbes Black, and I'm super excited about that and the opportunity that will have for me. And then I'm also an owner of an ed tech company, which is called CourseScribe, which is coming out very, very soon. And this ed tech company should help all of us. It will help all of us be better instructional designers. Okay, so again, I really have slides, but they're not really slides because this is really a fireside chat. But the objective of today is for us to all, because I want to learn from you too, how to enhance your learning experiences. We're going to identify unique ways to craft targeted learning events. And then we're going to apply learning principles to your target audience, right? So we're all familiar with those. But I do have a question. What do you think is included in a delectable course cocktail? That's question number one. We have a couple of questions. And you can post it in the chat. Oh, bitters. I'll give you a moment to think. Yes, scenarios. Heavy. Yes, heavy-handed laughter. Laughter keeps the program going. Clear objectives and engagement. Yes. Yes. Great visuals, navigation. So yeah, we're going to talk about now see, I had some bounce I was going to play, but I decided to keep it a little clean. Yes. Yeah. And it's difficult sometimes to adjust different learning styles in your trainings, but there's also an easy way to do it to make sure that you are in comfort, that you're including everyone in your training, and also the learning styles. And I currently have a contract with the CDC. And so one of the well, I work for a company that outsources my skills. And so that's one of the things that we've been running into is being able to address different levels in one event because we have a newer staff turnover, a higher turnover. So it's like, how do we tackle those people? And so that's how I kind of came up with this idea because I've been working on how to create these delectable learning events. Conversational tone. Yes. All right. Very good. So the next, again, sorry about the navigation. So, how do we cater to, I think I'm going to skip this one. Let me see. How do we cater all the things into a course for active adults without burnout? I guess I will answer this question. So how do we cater all things into a course for active adults without burnout? And when I mean without burnout for us and without burnout for them. So I think, and I'm just going to do a high level here, but I will be addressing this question throughout the training. I think that some of the things that we've mentioned already are ways that we can cater all the things, having good visuals, having a great flow, knowing that they can what they came here to learn is what they will learn and they will take away and be able to implement. I think that those are ways to avoid the burnout. And again, to have laughter, so maybe have mini breaks, again, making it interactive so that they can participate and not just be a learner, but also participate in their learning activities. So again, we'll touch on some things throughout this training. All right. Again, my system is going a little whack, but just bear with me. So another question I have. So what makes a course a delectable learning experience when educating busy, active adults these days? And the reason I added these days on here, because we have a lot of other items that can take you away from your learning experience. We have a lot of distractors, right? We used to be in a classroom where everybody was just learning, right? And then we used to kind of be in the cubicles, but people were still learning at their own pace, but they were still kind of like in a structured environment. But now, these days, we're working from home. Most of us are working from home 100%. And so how do you tame the distractions? How do you make sure that your learners are paying attention to you? And when they're doing the trainings, you like to say either you or if it's an online learning experience, right? If it's an e-learning event, like how do you make sure that you are catering to them these days with all these things? Like my dogs are on the porch, the Amazon man could be coming at any moment. Like how do you cater to those to active busy adults these days? I agree. The chat is off the chain. Yes, I agree. It's the tone of your voice. Like if you And that just actually, people were like congratulating me on my tone at the conference that I was in, because everybody else was like monotone. It was a serious topic they were talking about, right? But everybody was monotone. It wasn't any fluctuation in the voice. It was all like matter of fact. And then I came in and was like very pleasant, and I have the inflection in my voice, and they were just like, "Can you do the training?" And I was just like, "I'm not a subject matter expert, but I appreciate the compliment." So yeah, making sure that your personality shows, and that is definitely a great way to bring people back in, because if you're laughing, the attention comes back and it's like, oh, what was funny? What's going on? Just trying to keep people, that way people stay in tune with the content that you're sharing. All right. Come on, navigate. I'm gonna have to pull my slide thing back out if you all don't mind. Where is it? Yeah, this way I can navigate a lot better. Okay, so active adults. The problem with most of the active adults these days are what? Time limit for learning, like they limited time, they want to rush through. I don't know, have you all seen though the memes that's going around about training, and this is me on training, and I think it's a GIF. I think it was like on TikTok, and they had the little dog there, and he's like clicking through like real fast. So they're just like cutting our training in time. Not that the knowledge is being transferred, but how do we eliminate that? So active adults, in their mind, they believe they have time limits. They don't want to waste any time at all, right? They were like, oh, this may be a waste. So that's what their thinking is. So sometimes it's what? The messaging. Always having an ever-growing to-do list. So they feel like they don't have time to learn something new, because they always have this ever-growing list, and that's just another thing on the list. Active adults, they have to people manage. And what I mean by people manage, not just on the job, but in their homes, right? Like you have to manage your kids, in my case, my pups, in some cases, a spouse. So, these are all deterrents on people taking your training and growing to the specific spot that they want to, right? For personal growth. And then also they just want to enjoy life, right? They just want to enjoy life. So our job as adult educators is to show them how this course will enhance their life, will provide them, get them to their desired goals, and that it is definitely worth the time, right? So that's really what our goal is. And we want to make sure that when they sit down to take time to take our courses or to participate in our learning experiences, that it's one worth sitting here, worth their time. So how do we get them to learn and apply, right? So some people can take in information, but they don't necessarily want to apply. So again, I've seen it listed already. Someone already mentioned this: having effective learning objectives. I've been to trainings where the learning objectives were very high level. And not only that, they didn't even match the content. So making sure that those objectives are effective. Having a value-packed training, meaning that as much as possible, making sure that it's not fluff and that you keep the good stuff. I like to say kiss it, right? Keep it simple and structured, and that way people will be able to take the information and then apply it. And I saw this mentioned as well. So activities, exercises, homework that feeds directly into the goal. So don't be just giving work to be giving work, right? Like don't just say, okay, let's just go ahead and take this test, or let's go ahead and do this assignment. And I've worked, and how many of you, let me know if you've worked with SMEs that have just had this random test, right? Just had this, well, I just want to take an assessment. But why? Like, are you going to grade that assessment? And is it a passing assessment? Like, what good is the assessment? Can't you, another way to do that is, and it's like, but why? There's no reason for this assessment. But another way that you can test if the knowledge is being transferred is by having a fun activity. having a checklist, having a tool. So having an activity or an assessment or a homework assignment that actually feeds to the goal, and they can see themselves accomplishing the goal, right? Like the main thing is they need to see themselves saying, oh yeah, I can create that flower bed. Oh yeah, I can become a manager because you have now provided me the steps. Oh yeah, I do know how to do conflict resolution, right? So it's, making sure that they can see themselves in the process and reaching that goal. And one of the ways of doing that is by providing, activities and exercises that are exciting. Right? That's how people are like, I'm not even interested. So another one is seeing themselves reaching the goal. See, I'm moving faster than I want. Painting the picture of what their life will be like after the training. So after this training here, you will have great examples of how you can add and enhance your learning experiences. So your learners, your active adult learners, will be able to get in, get what they need, enjoy the process, and then take action. Right. So I'm painting the picture that these are the things that you will be able to do at the end of this course. Telling a story. I do love telling stories. I told a little one earlier, but adding a story and actually having the story go through the training, right? Like a lot of times I like to paint the picture from at the very beginning and then take you through the journey of, let's say, creating a flower bed. And sometimes using an avatar helps that too. So having an avatar help tell your story is another way that you can create delectable learning experiences that active adults will like to take. And then creating a system for learning. I think I saw someone earlier post that, right? Like how many, like creating a system for them to learn and not necessarily, yes, training. I like that term. I'm gonna have to snatch that. I like that. Creating a system for them to learn. I did work with an organization where they just had information out on the website. No rhyme or reason on how you should take it. People were just like, whatever one showed up first, that's the one that they were taking. Versus having a system for them to learn. And it's just it could be as simple as having a checklist, like, oh, this is the classes that you take first. Or in my case, I created a roadmap. So I have a roadmap with all the links, and it's still an activity that they can do, and then they can see themselves accomplishing it. And it is just definitely one of the greatest ways to for them to take ownership of their learning, but also to see that they've accomplished these things, and then they can then be proud of themselves and be ready and see themselves reaching that goal. Yes, pathways for sure. All right. So I thought that we would talk about cocktail recipes for learning experiences based on how we create courses, right? So we have the onboarding experience, we have the design, we have development. I didn't do analysis. And then, because that's really for us, and then the delivery. So I'm going to share with you, and I want you all to share with me too, ways that we can create experiences for our learners. Okay, so let's start with onboarding. And unfortunately, I don't know how many of you all are good with creating titles for your courses. Let me know in the chat. How many of you all, or you can just do exactly. I wish I was good with creating titles for our courses. But I'm not. But I feel like the title needs to tell the tale. Like the title should be able to, oh, that's a good idea. The title should be able to tell what they're getting ready to learn and what they're getting ready to do and what the goal is. And yes, I could start using Chat GPT, and I didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to put that in my book, in my little notebook, right? Because that will definitely help to do that. But I'm horrible at it. But I tell my clients and I tell everybody else, my clients, my SMEs that I work with, subject matter experts, that to get your title right, that gets people excited about it. They're attentive. They know what they're going to learn, and then they're ready to be interactive in your course. Oh yes, short and descriptive. Yes, for sure. Because I've had some long ones again in the field that I'm in now, that there are some long titles and I'm like, can you shorten it just a little bit? Like, can we go from 15 words to like 7 words maybe? Like, can we cut it in half? Because they have some really, really long titles. Other thing is, we talked about earlier having SMARTY objectives. And I don't know, are you all familiar with SMARTY versus SMART? The SMARTY objectives actually add inclusive and exclusive to the end, right? So inclusive content and knowing how to, I'm just not sure if that is right. I might have to look that up. Yeah, it's new. I just read about it and I meant to put it in my notes. And as you see, I don't have any notes down here. But I know the I is inclusive and the E is, I'll try to get it before we leave today. But that's to make sure that you're being inclusive with the entire audience that you are training. And then also having a smooth and open system, right? So being able to, like this one, right? This was a smooth process for you to register. It was very open. They had ways for you to contact someone for troubleshooting. So those are all types of ways that we can enhance the learning experience and onboarding. Do you all have any additional ones you would like to add? As I take a sip. Equitable. Thank you. Thank you. Melissa dropped it in the chat. I appreciate that. So I just learned about it. So I am about to start implementing that into my objectives. Yeah, thanks for the assist, ladies. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add to onboarding? If not, we'll move on. Okay, the next one is did I not change design? Oops, my apologies. I did not add changed ones for design. But really, so let's just discuss design. So when you're doing a design or a learning experience recipe, what could we include in the design? And I can just type this up in here. So I think that we've talked about some of the things for design already, which are, having the activities. I think it's going to type. Having the activities. Like I spelled that wrong. I spelled it wrong. Match the goal. So making sure that all that information is inside of, all right, there we go. It's still spelled wrong. Look at that. Okay. Having the activities make the goal, making sure the structure, we talked about that too, is making sure that I still spelled activities wrong. My apologies. I don't know if it's because it's making sure the flow is smooth as well. That's going to drive me. This is going to drive me crazy. Okay. So, making sure that the content flow is smooth, and then also making sure that all the content is included, right? So all content is included in materials that they are needed. Anything else? Anything else that you all can think of? Because I've definitely had some courses where the content was not included and it just throws everything off. Okay. All right, next let's go to develop. So how can you create a delectable learning experience with the development phase of creating your courses? So I have a few of them here. One is an engaging script. We talked about how you can tell a story. You can, have questions in your script to get people to respond back and engage with you. Another thing, sometimes I like to play music. Again, I was going to play music earlier and decided not to, but you can add music. Doing like break times, if you have asking questions, you can play music then. You can play music at the beginning or the end. And then also, having music or having a trigger word or statement helps the mind get back into the learning, getting ready to learn. So, for instance, if I had the music playing, then okay, at the end of the music, when the music stops, then it's time to get started. So that's just like some triggers that help engage your users and also bring them back and get them ready to learn. So that is some of the activities that you can add into the development phase, is having music or audio, or it could be a ding, right? Or a timer. I do like to do a timer, like a countdown timer, to get them ready to learn. Also having projects. So instead of just having an activity, but having a whole project for them to do. So when you create your projects, that's another way for them to be involved into the learning experience and keep their attention, so they can go from, let's go ahead and do this project, and we're going to do this project throughout this training. This is part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so that way they can, again, see themselves completing and reaching the goal, and then also see themselves in the process. And then they have something as a takeaway to use as a reference at the end. And then personalized extras. And personalized extras mean just making sure that you have things that are personalized for your audience. So, for instance, asking you all questions, because you all experts as well as this. And so I'm personalizing it for instructional designers, for my audience. So making sure that I am personalizing, or make sure that you personalize it. It could be something that's going on in the world that you all may want to talk about for a quick second, or you can intertwine into the content. It may be something like you all experience the training, like I haven't been able to experience it, so getting your feedback, just personalizing the event. Okay. And then last thing we have is delivery. One of the things that I really like about delivery, and again, if you all want to share anything, just drop it in the chat. One thing I like about delivery is having I call them core stories. Again, we talked about this, I did a highlight on it, like, telling a story throughout the entire training, and having, like some drama spots, like, okay, so what do you think happened next? Or how do you feel this person feels receiving this type of information? Telling the story where you have emotional connection to the content is a great way to help active learners like digest the information and then be able to take action. Incorporating your unique teaching style. I think that, like, on the last, I was able to get on the imposter syndrome training that happened like right before this one. I was able to hop on in that one. And I don't know how many of you all were able to get into that one, but they did talk about how, you're the expert, and you are what makes your course unique and your learning experience unique. So, incorporate your unique teaching style. Incorporate it could be your lifestyle that you want to incorporate, but it still reflects the information that you're training. It could be a hobby that you're doing, like, and it could be where you're from, right? So I could incorporate things from the South. So, being able to create your unique teaching style also helps, connect with the learners. So then that makes them more apt to want to learn the content and the information and be able to apply. So doing that. And then also a quick and easy way is to have worksheets or notepads. So or note pages. So having worksheets that they can write questions down or type the answers down to your questions, and that keeps them interactive as well. So that pretty much kind of like wraps up the ways that you can add emphasis, enhancements, and create a delectable learning activity for learners, for active, busy learners. Would anybody like to add more to it? Gifts are like my favorite. I did not mention this, but gifts are my favorite way to interact in training. And I apologize for not having any in this one because I normally have plenty in here. And I think that is a great way for you to um, show your unique teaching style, right? That's a great way to show your unique teaching style and to connect with the users because it's a quick video, it's real short, it states exactly what you need, and it is one of my great ways, and people absolutely love it. Yes, I absolutely love them. Okay, is there anything else that you can think about as far as any cocktail recipes for learning experiences for any of the four that we discussed today? And while you all think about that, I'll kind of do a quick overview. Basically, we just kind of talked about ways to enhance your learning experience. Busy adults have a limited time. And so, what we want to do is make sure that our courses, our education experiences, our lives, our in persons, give them the information that they need, that they can take action on after they leave and reach their personal goals. And their personal goals could be, a better lawn, right? It could be that they want to take up yoga, or it could be that they want to be able to manage conflict. So they're, whatever the goal is, we want to make sure that what we're doing, you know, tells the tale, right? It tells the tale, it tells the story, and that they can be involved, they can learn, take action, and then be the better version of themselves. Okay. Yeah, my system, I really need a new computer. Okay, are there anything else? Okay, perfect. Is there anything else that you all would like to add? Is there anything missing from the recipe that you think we all should know? No, I covered a lot. Well, no, thank you guys. You have been very interactive. I totally appreciate your time today. If you don't have any, again, I thought this was going to be more of a, fireside chat. So I didn't really have a lot of slides. And I wanted, again, to learn from you all as well. Because, sometimes after being in the field for such a long time, you get stagnant and you kind of learn from others. But I really do enjoy this platform because I'm able to go in the group, ask questions. And you guys have helped me answer some questions, get answers to my questions. And so I thought that this would be a great time to kind of go back and forth, see, what ideas you may have to add to my little tricks, my little trick bag. And then for me to provide you all with the same. It absolutely is. Oh, I like that question. What do you think are things that turn the course cocktail sour? Ooh. Um, Too much information, right? Like, having too much information where they're not connecting the dots. So I think that, it can turn sour quickly if you're not connecting the dots. If you are just providing them information and not showing them how the information that I'm providing you relates to the goal and also relates to the activities that you have to do at the end or to reach your goal. So I think that's one thing that turns a cocktail sour. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to that question? That was a great question. Let me see. What else do I think that can turn it sour? I know I mentioned this earlier, but the having a title that does not match, right? Like you think you're in class for this, and then the title that they discuss has gone to the left or to the right. And so you're not actually learning what you thought you were going to learn. It's kind of like the scenario of the flower bed, right? I'm coming in to learn how to fix a flower bed, get some curb appeal. And you're talking about lawn maintenance. Like, okay, I understand that's a part of it, but you're spending most of your time on lawn maintenance. And I really came for the flower bed. So that's a way that you can turn the course cocktail sour. It's just, not teaching to what you said that you were going to teach. Yes, I agree with that. Like having no like the instructor just doesn't have any energy, like they're not excited about, you know, teaching you guys or sharing this energy, like it's a robot and they've been doing it over and over again. And so not having that energy, that can turn it sour as well, because it's definitely a way that people will be on their phones, right? Like that's another distractor that we have, phones, right? And I'm surprised. Oh, I cut mine on do not disturb, right? Our phones and our watches, because our watches, again, you know, are a distractor because it's beeping when the texts are coming through. So, you know, not being able to keep their attention, because you have to be more exciting than what's going on Facebook, right? Like that's the thing. Or TikTok or Instagram. You have to be more exciting and more in tune to the content than those other devices. Yep. So Sherry says, not knowing your audience, failing to engage everyone who wants to be engaged. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Having hands raised or having, you know, people responding to chat and then not acknowledging them. That's, yes, definitely a way to turn the course cocktail sour, because, you know, people are asking questions because they want to learn, they want to get clarification, and then for you to just gloss over it, then that is definitely a way to turn the cocktail sour. Yes, the Charlie Brown teacher effect. Yes, wow, 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 wow. You don't even know what this person is saying, right? They're just up here saying stuff, not making any connections, and just not doing a thing. And of course, that's none of us in here, right? That's none of us. We're definitely on it and making these education experiences worthwhile. Not over caffeinated. Yes, not over caffeinated, because there are some that are wired up and you're so concentrated on the person's actions that you're not paying attention to the content that is actually being delivered. So yes, that's another way to do to sour the course cocktail. I love that. You see, I keep saying it. Yes, yes, but you could be over caffeinated. Too much. And that the person is talking, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, are you going to slow down so I can take notes? So, yes. Yes. I've seen it. I haven't experienced it, but I've seen it. All right. Is there anything else you all would like to share? Thanks so much for sharing. For those who posted in the chat, I do appreciate it. And we have about 5 minutes left. If you have any other questions about any of the content. Oh, yes. So I have forgotten. So thank you for that. So make sure that you complete the after event survey. And so you can be entered into the prize drawing. So make sure that you all do that. And plus, of course, it helps us make the, of course, that also helps us, you know, make the conference better and presenters. Okay, so I have another question. How much of your personal brand drives your company's products? Do you stick with your vibe or really try to blend in with the client? Okay, so great question. So I've actually, to tell a short story, because we don't have much time, I used to be, since I came from corporate, I was very stickler, and I still may have presented a little bit like that today. And I'm very like, matter of fact, here's information. I'm funny. I still can tell a little story, but I'm still a stickler. But that's not really my personal brand, right? My personal brand is more laid back, you know, like I had the title courses and cocktails. So I'm really trying to incorporate more of my personality and my personal brand into my trainings. And into my company. Like for the ed tech, it's like totally like this cool type of vibe that I'm putting off in that one. And that one is really my vibe, like my personality. And so more of that will be into the like the marketing of it. But my original company was a stickler. It was almost like me trying to redo corporate. And so people were less like, but this is not the person I talked to on the phone. So it's very difficult. It's almost like when the camera comes on, I just go back to corporate. So I'm really trying to get out of that. So I'm trying to do a nice little blend, but I really would like more of my personal brand to go into my my courses. And so sometimes, and I have little bits of it, right? Like there are places where I'm playing music and I'm dancing because I love the music and I love the dancing. And so I incorporate it that way, but it's still kind of classy. So I may do like I don't mean classy, like classic. So I still have, it may be something like an old school R&B, because I'm gonna do R&B. But what I really wanted to do was some New Orleans bounce, right? Some trap music. So that's what I really wanted to incorporate. But so I'm trying to get there. Like I'm trying to be who I am in my courses. I'm getting there. But I hope they answered your question. So I kind of like do a mix, but I'm trying to get more of, putting myself out there. Yeah. What do you all think? We have 1 minute and we need to wrap it up. Well, thank you guys again for your time this evening, and joining me with my courses and cocktails. See, that's another way I'm doing my personality, right? That's what I'm trying to incorporate. So I appreciate your time today. Make sure you fill out the evaluations, and so you can be in the drawing for the prize. Again, my name is Toni Brown. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Facebook is my favorite. I'm trying to get on TikTok. So if you want to, help me grow my TikTok, visit me there. And Instagram, it's at Course Coach TB on most of them, but you'll be able to find it at Course Coach TB. I appreciate your time. I would love to connect with you all. So other than that, that's it. And I will see you guys online. Thanks again. I appreciate it.